Set the derailleur so the outer plate of the derailleur cage, the metal plates that the chain passes through, is 2 mm above the big chain ring, and lock it half tight. Work the derailleur manually to check it won't touch the chain rings anywhere in its range of movement. In case of interference, raise the derailleur as little as possible to eliminate the clash. Set the cage plates exactly parallel to the chain rings. Tighten the fixing or the clamp bolt to lock the derailleur in place. Identify the 2 screws that limit the movement of the derailleur. They may be labelled L and H or low and high. Set the rear derailleur in the lowest gear with the chain on the biggest cogwheel at the back. Set the chain in the lowest gear at the front, the smallest chainring. Unclamp or dismount the cable. Turn the pedals forward. If the chain rubs on the inner plate of the derailleur cage, turn the low limit screw anti-clockwise to allow the spring to move the cage left until the interference is gone. Otherwise, screw in the low limit screw to move the cage right until the chain brushes it. Then go back a quarter turn to silence the rub. Select the lowest gear in the shifter and close down any barrel adjusters on the cable run. These may be where the cable exits from the shifter, at a stop on the frame, or just mounted in line on the cable. Remount or reclamp the cable. The cable should be neither loose nor tight, but passive between the shifter and the derailleur. If the cable is new, pull on any exposed length of inner cable to compress the ferrules and outer cable into position. If there is no exposed length of cable, you can do this by pedaling and shifting into a large chainring. Unclamp the cable and take up any slack that results from this stress test. Click the shifter while turning the pedals. Turn the barrel adjusters to tighten the cable until the chain shifts onto the next chainring. Pedal and use the shifter for the rear derailleur to select the highest gear, the smallest cogwheel on the rear hub. If the bike has 3 chainrings, make another shift onto the biggest chainring. If the bike only has 2 chainrings, it's already there. Turn the pedals forward. If the chain rubs on the outer plate of the derailleur cage, turn the high limit screw anti-clockwise to allow the cable to move the cage right until the interference is gone. Otherwise, screw in the high limit screw to push the cage right until the chain brushes it, then go back a quarter turn to silence the rub. Work the front derailleur to shift the chain between the chain rings. If the chain is slow to upshift onto a bigger ring, tighten the cable. If it's slow to drop onto a smaller chain ring, loosen the cable. Run the chain around the 2 biggest cogwheels, the fastest at the front and the slowest at the back. Don't thread it through the derailleurs. Find the shortest length that would connect and add on 1 inch, 1 complete inner and outer link. This is usually the ideal length for modern derailleur systems. Thread the chain through the derailleurs and round the two smallest cogwheels, the slowest at the front and the fastest at the back. Offer up the two ends of the chain and match the link that makes the chain short enough so that the bottom run of the chain doesn't rub on the swing arm near the top jockey wheel. To reconnect the chain, thread it back onto the bike and hold it in place with a wire bent into a C shape. A dead spoke with the head cut off is ideal. Realign both ends of the chain in the slot further from the punch with the holes aligned. The rivet sticking out should be faced towards the punch. Drive the rivet back through the chain by screwing in the punch. Check how far to push by comparing the back of the link with the others. The position of the driven pin needs to match the height of the others. When the head of the rivet, viewed from the back, matches its fellows, retract the screw and remove the chain from the tool. Check the link you've just been working on. It may be stiff and unable to flex like the others. If it's stiff, it needs to be spread.